What's going on, folks? Welcome back to Michigan Great Outdoors. I'm your host, Jason Strowski, aka the Pollock. Today I have for you the Sladder climbing system by Gray Squirrel Outdoors. This is something new to the industry, very interesting, coming in ultralight, 1.8 pounds, uses a daisy chain to go around the tree. You hook it on, and basically it's a reversible ladder. So you're gonna climb up, you're gonna hang this as high as you possibly can, you're gonna climb up, and then the other side is reversed. So you just pull it up and you flip it up. So you're kind of like tumbling it up the tree. It's a very interesting concept. I saw it at the Mobile Hunter Expo here in July at Kalamazoo Expo Center, and I had been seeing it online. I thought it was really interesting. I was kind of interested in it myself because I'm always trying to think outside of the box, trying to make sure that, you know, I'm looking at all the different options that are out there. And so I wanted to give it a try. So this is a $240 system if you buy it online. At the show, I got it for $200. So, you know, it's an entire climbing system that you can use to climb as high as you want. I mean, basically it's limitless. I'm gonna go ahead and do a climbing demonstration. I'm not gonna get into I'll talk about like the techniques that I'm using. I'm gonna have the GoPro, couple cameras, but I'm not gonna get into like the educational tutorial type stuff. Gray Squirrel's YouTube channel, I'll put something up so you can see it. They have phenomenal tutorials. Watch his videos. He's the guy that made this. You want to learn from him. I'm not going to teach you how to do it. I just wanted to show you guys that this does work. There's some things I like about it, and there's some things that I don't like about it. So before you go spend 240 bucks, I think it's good to get my opinion because you're going to get an honest opinion. And so stay for the end of the video, and I'll do a wrap-up conclusion, and hopefully this video isn't too long. So let's go to the tree. All right, so we're going to go ahead, reset it. Make sure everything's good to go. I have a rappel rope right here, because I've already been climbing, so I will use that if needed and to rappel down. So I'm going to use my linesman rope. Whenever I'm climbing anything crazy like ropes or anything like this, I have several knives on me just in case. If I had to cut something, you know, to self-rescue, to get myself down, we're good to go. So carabiners ready. So let's climb. So one of the important steps at the beginning here is you want to make sure you get your foot in as far as possible. So you want to get it deep into the arch and as far back, and then point that toe, and then you can go ahead and climb. Each time I go, I want to point that toe down and try to slide it down the tree. When you get to the top, it's a little bit harder to do. So, like in this instance, I gotta kind of wedge it in there and then put it in the stirrups. And then I can go ahead and use my linesman rope. Take the pressure off. Make sure my carabiners are tight. Now I can take a break if I wanted to. So if you can see down here, the daisy chain is attached to the hook. That's all that's holding you up. So you want to make sure you're tied into something. In this case, I have linesman. You know, if you want to rappel down, whatever, you want to be attached to the tree at all times for sure. Okay, so I'm going to make my first move. What I'm going to do, take this foot out of the stirrup, reach down with my leg and grab the ladder, and then put my foot back in the stirrup. And then you want to pull your sladder up and then reset it. So I'm going to make sure my linesman belt is set properly, and then probably take some more play out of it. It's easier when you're more straight up in the tree. I think this is my 5th climb now in the Sladder. So we're gonna go ahead, try to put it up as high as possible. Get into that loop, that final loop. You know, you don't want it so tight that you can't get in it. You know, you want to have it a little bit loose, but, you know, tight enough. So Now I'm going to go ahead and let a little linesman rope out, so I have a little bit of room to maneuver. And I always like to lead with my left. It's just from like my football days, you know, leading, always led with the left. So go ahead, try to push the toes off, you know, giving myself a little bit more room on my linesman. You can hear that it's on this tree, you know, it makes some noise. It's not exactly quiet. Trying to get my boots in there, working my linesman up, get my foot up in my stirrup, take some slack out of my linesman here, and then foot in the stirrup. All right. Because my safety line's right here, I'm going to go ahead and hook into it. And there's a guy going down the road with a four-wheeler. All right, so now got my Madrock. Everything's good to go with that. I'm going to go ahead and advance my my tether here a little bit. Let some slack out. See if I get this tether up a little higher. This safety line's been here for a couple days. I just left it up because I've been, you know, I didn't want to just climb in this ladder without, you know, having a little bit of experience in it. All right. Cool. Okay. So now we got to go and we got to get the sladder loose. So I'm gonna go ahead and sit my rope here. I'm gonna go ahead and let a little bit of rope down so I can get down further. Very, very slowly descended. So I'm gonna go ahead and reach down. And I'm not struggling here. I'm very comfortable. So you just pop it, and now that bottom section's loose. And then you just pull it up through your legs. It works really freaking easy. So I'm just gonna set my linesman back. It's definitely easier to do this with the linesman. You know, the Madrock's nice because you can rappel down, but the linesman rope I think is pretty key. This thing got twisted again. So because of this tree and how it is, I'm not going to really be able to go too much further. So I'm just going to go, just move this up a little bit. So I'll probably just go up to like right here. And then we'll come down. It's a little loose, so I need to go up a rung, or maybe I'm in between rungs. So if you're ever in between a rung, you always go to the looser rung. You don't want to make it too tight because then it won't come out. If you decide to climb down with the sladder. Okay. This is where I've noticed it gets a little bit tricky, because you got this safety line and it's fantastic, but now you've added, you know, you've added another element of things you have to manage. But I'd rather be more lines than less lines. And I want to take out my slack. You know, if you were to fall, you don't want slack. Go set my linesman. Move this tether up, which I guess I'll need some slack for that. You know, I'm breathing maybe a little heavy, nothing crazy. You know, this is all new to me. I'm sure with practice, you'd get better at it and you wouldn't breathe as hard. You know, plus I'm talking. It's always difficult to talk and do something strenuous. Not that this is that strenuous, but you get the point. Well, I don't know if I want to go too much higher because I'm going to have a bunch of crap on my face. Yeah, it's about as high as I think I can go. So hopefully I'm still in frame. That's the Sladder. Pretty freaking simple. You know, I'm probably about 18, 19 foot right now. And I took a couple cuts just because of people driving by in four-wheelers and stuff, but pretty much, I mean, yeah, this tree is seriously leaning towards me, which is not that fun. So I'm gonna rappel down. Now, I did royally screw up because I don't have retrieval line on here, but it'll be fine. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna go ahead and just sit in my saddle. Brought me a glove for my rappel hand. And I'm just gonna hang. Everything's clear. Let out some line here. And then I'm just gonna get that foot out and just lower myself down real slow. Get myself some room on my feet. And then I'm gonna unhook linesman. I'm hanging in my saddle now. So we don't need the Sladder. Let that down. And again, just gonna go down the tree real easy. Okay, I'm gonna stop, get the Sladder, and then go right down the tree. That wasn't the most graceful landing, but it was a landing. There it is, Sladder. All right, guys, so final thoughts on the Sladder. I think it's really cool. It's really innovative. I've never saw anything like this out there in the industry. Very thinking outside of the box. I love how the system's, how you're able to set it up, and then as you're climbing, you just pull up the next Sladder, and it's the opposite, and it's ready to go. Pretty cool. You know, I'm 258 pounds, 5'11", so this is the large size. I'm heavier, so it's you know, probably a little bit harder for me to really climb up this thing than maybe some of you young bucks that are football players and athlete types. You know, is it quieter than a sticks and stand setup? For me, no. I mean, I know I can go up a tree darn near almost silent. You know, you're gonna make a little noise. You know, this is 240 bucks, basically replaces your sticks. You're still gonna have to hang a platform. So it's not really like a one stick replacement. If you're gonna rappel, you gotta take your rappel rope, your Madrocks, you know, so that adds a little extra weight, even though this is coming in very lightweight. I think if you're a guy that, you know, you only hunt like 12 foot up, this would be maybe a really cool idea. You know, you can basically set it once and do one move and get almost 12 foot. So if you're just looking for something cool or looking for something different, I think it's pretty cool. You know, time's gonna tell. I will say that there's more wear on this upper band than I expected to see. There's parts of the hook here, the coatings wore off, and then right on this edge here is taking the real brunt of the force for me. Now, like I said, I'm a heavier guy, 258, 260. you know, I'm gonna put a lot more pressure on this than somebody that's 200 pounds, but you know, this Amsteel loop here is even kind of worn, and I'll zoom in and show you guys, like I'm not making it up. Now, that was a red oak tree. Obviously red oak tree has hard bark, so if you're using pines and stuff like that all the time, poplars, I don't know if this would be, well, this actually might be good in a poplar, because you'd be able to, that foot would slide in better, you know. That's another thing that you kind of have to practice and get used to. So, you know, if you stick your foot in here, you really want to get it into that arch as far as possible. And it's really easy to do on the bottom rungs. You're able to do it really easily. But when you get into, like, say, the top 3 rungs or so, it gets more difficult, because, you know, on a stick, when you have a stick, you know, say this is the stick and you have your steps, you know, you're away from the tree a little bit. With this, it's all against the tree. So you have to do this technique where you step in and then you're supposed to like curl your feet down. I've done 5 climbs so far and I haven't mastered it yet. I don't know if it's because I'm just a bigger guy. I think it's just because I'm heavier, and these webs are just so tight. I almost can't even get my foot in the top couple rungs. I have to go in on an angle and then jam it out. So obviously with practice, you'll get better at it. I think it's a cool product. I don't know if I'm gonna keep it or if I'm gonna sell it. To be honest with you, I probably wouldn't see myself really using this on a hunt. You know, it is summertime. I'm soaked in sweat. I mean, it's physically taxing for me, but you watch that guy from Gray Squirrel. He's a really nice guy. I met him at the expo. He's like a freaking monkey going up the tree. I mean, he makes it look effortless, but it's his product, you know, and I think if you're super athletic, you might have really good success with this, but, you know, I suggest trying it. I mean, I think everybody's going to be kind of different, and, you know, my video, I just want to show you that my big ass could do it. I could get up the tree, so I'm sure if I continue to lose weight, keep practicing, it'll probably get easier. But I guess the only thing that I could really complain about is just the wear on the band. Maybe there's something that they can do, like if he could put some sort of protective sleeve on here or something down the road. It'd be really cool too if somehow you could layer this material to kind of get the sladder away from the tree a little bit. I don't know if that would work. It'd probably add a bunch of weight to this system, but it definitely works. I don't know if it's for me. It might be for you. I definitely think that rappelling down is the way to go. You could come down in this thing, just reverse the process using your linesman rope. You could come back down. I wouldn't want to do that, especially in the dark. I went and rappelled like a G. I did not stick the landing, so obviously I need more practice with the rappelling, but it was a cool little exercise. It's good for you to get outside your comfort zone and try new things. You know, unfortunately, some of these new things cost money, 240 bucks. You have to decide for yourself whether or not you want to try the Sladder. Thanks for watching. If you like videos like this, please consider subscribing down below. It helps me out tremendously, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.